Okay, I'm back from Ireland. It was a fantastic trip. I wish that I could show you some pictures. Oh, wait, again. Maybe not. So, today I want to talk about the relationship between the conscious and the unconscious mind. When I was in Ireland, it felt like Ireland is just like another world. It's like Narnia, and especially the west coast of Ireland, there's this sort of underground fairy land. Basically, I was there working there for poetry, and I was hanging out with poets and novelists, Irish literary people. And they all kind of said, yes, creativity is this relationship between the conscious and the unconscious, and kind of bringing that into reality. Okay, so we'll talk more about creativity, but today I want to talk about a couple things with relation to, like, how does the subconscious and conscious minds, how do they relate? So the subconscious contains everything, right? And in many ways it does. So it contains, it remembers everything you see, everything you hear, everything that's ever happened to you. And on some level, it also connects with the collective, which kind of covers everything. So that brings up memory recall, the idea of memory recall. People often come into hypnotherapy because they want to remember something. Maybe they hid a bunch of money and they can't remember where it was. Maybe they feel like they have some repressed memory and they want to access it. That's always really dangerous. I say don't try to go for repressed memories. And the reason why sometimes, let's say, we can't remember things is because the subconscious chooses. It's like, no, you don't need that right now. And it always does it to keep you safe, okay? It might just be that you're too overwhelmed, so it's going to make you forget that word. It's going to make you forget that appointment, so that your life stays a little bit more peaceful, right? Or in the case of, let's say you had some trauma and you're not strong enough to deal with it, it'll completely erase, like 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th grade. Often those blank spots in childhood have to do with abuse. It's not always really serious. Sometimes it is. I mean, all abuse is serious, but it's just that at the time you were not able to deal with it, and so it hid it from you. And now, as we become stronger, these memories can come back. So as your nervous system is more able to handle bits of information, it's more able to digest things, PTSD, things like that. You get stronger, you start to heal. Sometimes these memories will come up and then you have to deal with them then. But if they're coming up naturally, it's because you're strong enough to deal with them. Now, I don't recommend people going in and saying, like, I want to look for repressed memories, like, I think my dad abused me, or I think my uncle abused me, or my cousin got abused, so I'm wondering if I did. Going in and looking for those kinds of memories is never a good idea. Especially some hypnotherapists practice something called age regression, which I don't recommend. It's not the safest way to do things. It's the only technique that can cause what do we call that? False memory syndrome, where you can remember something and really believe it happened, but it didn't actually happen. And we don't want that. We don't want you to think your uncle abused you if he didn't, right? That'll create a lot of trauma in your family that you don't need. And if you are truly repressing a memory, it's for your safety, and it will only come up when it is safe to come up. Okay, so that is the story about the subconscious and memory recall. Now, if it's for hold on, a little bit more about that. If it's for, like, a test, okay, let's say you have to take a bunch of tests and you feel like your memory is horrible, the subconscious can be trained to deliver the right information at that moment. It's just got an old program right now that's like, nope, she doesn't need that info. She's not supposed to pass tests. Passing tests gets too much attention, or whatever the thing was that it decided back a long time ago, or maybe even just last year. That was a good idea to keep you safe. That's not now working for you. We can reprogram that. Another relationship between the conscious and unconscious minds, how they communicate is, and this is really a fun topic, is dreams. So there are many different kinds of dreams. I don't have time to go into all of them right now. But those dreams that you tend to remember right before you wake up, those are REM dreams. They're usually venting dreams. They usually kind of have a story that's very long and involved and kind of kooky, and you try to explain it to someone else and they're like, they don't get it. Those are actually a communication from the subconscious mind to the conscious mind, and that's a very clear communication if you understand symbolic language, because it's kind of like sent to you in Chinese. If you don't understand Chinese, it seems crazy. Symbolic language is not like, it's not like you can go get a symbolic dictionary. And those dream dictionaries, don't waste your time and money. It might give you a few ideas about things, but they tend to be just a fun gag gift. They really are not always accurate, because everyone's symbols are unique to them and unique to each dream. So, you know, a road could symbolize your journey in one dream, but a road in your next dream could symbolize something else. Okay, so if you're really interested in dreams and want to know how to kind of crack this code, it's pretty simple. And I did it's about a 90-minute webinar about dreams and dream therapy and how you can use dreams to get information, heal trauma, and just increase your healing all around. And if you want that, there's a link in the down below. And I put it on like permanent sale. It's a great deal. Just go ahead and check it out, and then let me know what you think, okay? Now, there are other types of dreams which are not that important right now. We can talk about those at a future time, but dreams are really fun. And then the other thing that the subconscious does for the conscious mind is it takes care of everything. So, for example, your heart rate, your blood, your temperature, your circulation, your digestion. You don't have to consciously wake up every morning and be like, okay, I'm going to digest now. Okay, my heart needs to beat. If you had to think about all that stuff, if you had to think about taking breaths in, taking breaths out all the time, all day long, you'd probably stop breathing and stop your heart beating, and you would die. So it takes care of everything and keeps it stable. Stability is king to the subconscious. Subconscious doesn't like change because change is dangerous. Really, it is. If your heart rate was to change all of a sudden, you know, all the time, and just you'd be in the cardiologist's office. You know, if your body temperature was to go up 10 degrees or down 10 degrees, you might fry your brain. Okay, so it's doing good work for you. The one area that is regulated by the subconscious that can be regulated by the conscious mind as well is the breath, which is very interesting. So by consciously working with the breath, there we can shift the subconscious. And that is one of the ways that we access the hypnotic state and access the subconscious, is just by many deep breaths. This is why yoga is so awesome and relaxing, and why many people have cathartic experiences during yoga, because they're consciously taking these deeper breaths, right? And that triggers the parasympathetic nervous system, which triggers a relaxation response, which triggers kind of like an opening of the subconscious. So sometimes a lot of stuff that's been in there, you get a little space to kind of digest it. Tears will come out, or laughter will come out. So there's definitely a lot of healing that can happen just through the breath. And that's all I have time for today, but I'm going to talk more about all the fun things. But if you have a specific request, send me an email, ask a question. I love the subconscious workshop. So long for now, till next week.